You green? Oh, one top does it. Okay, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the regular monthly meeting for August 2026, and we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to have a roll call vote so we establish for our recorded record that we have a quorum. Here.
Here.
Mike Smith.
Here. Here.
Okay, and Dick Stevens is not able to be here this evening. We have minutes from 2 board meetings, July and August. June and only June. We have 2. Right, we didn't have a July meeting, so we only have the June minutes.
Have they done the? No, not yet. I don't think so. No, I keep checking because I'm anxious to see what it looks like. Yeah. So make me hopeful for them,
Any comments regarding the minutes? Any revisions?
Move to accept the minutes.
Thank you, Merle.
A second.
Mike, all in favor? Aye. Okay, and then we have the July and the August reports to the village board. And then we do have a couple items that are old business, but they have popped up in the last 24 or 36 hours. So I'd like to move ahead with new business. And then when we're done with that, go back and deal with the old business items. So the new business is application 2638 for the Miletas at General Smith Drive. The applicant requesting site plan review to construct a shoreline wall and a dock for residential use. It's in the village residential zoning district. It's in the historic overlay district and the National Register district. We do have a public hearing scheduled for this evening. The applicants are here, the entire Mileta family. Sorry you missed the Pledge of Allegiance. And then the applicant's professional representative, Brian Perry, who has a career in dealing with docks and permits, among other things, correct? So we have good sources of info for any questions the board has. So our application is the general zoning, a letter from New York State Parks saying that they don't feel there's any impact on historic resources that they would be concerned with. Site plan review application, the form that's called the joint application, which includes multiple agencies, including New York State Department of State and Office of General Services and DEC, all which get involved with this. And then a sketch of the proposed dock structure and property deed with, or survey with dimensions that we should be paying attention to. And then what the site looks like from the water, from where the dock would be. And some of the pictures are from Robinson's Hill Dock, which is next door. And then the full environmental assessment form. So nice job on, oh, and by the way, I should point out, a coastal assessment form, which you probably know, but we have all the laws we deal with, waterfront management law. We have a local waterfront revitalization program, which is a New York State program that the village has participated in for decades. This board actually has some responsibility to consider the village's coastal policies when we make decisions and document those. So there's a form I will fill out pertaining to our review this evening. And theoretically, we should be doing that on more projects than we do, but this is pretty overtly so a dock. So it's definitely coastal project. So I don't know who if they're the Miletas or anybody want to add to what your request is or describe any further detail about your schedule or what you're planning to do or how it fits with your house plans that we approved.
The dock itself, we're hoping that a contractor that's built really nice docks is supposed to be in the area. Want to submit this next time fashion with Brian. He's down here just to simply come to this area to build and bring cars down. So I think we're trying to piggyback on that and to get it done. It's to build boxes. We think a lot of docks in the area. As far as the ties into the house, we still have our approved building permit.
Yeah.
Did we visit with another architect, indeed quite large, 5,200 square feet. Maybe got a little bit crazy on our first one. And so we're exploring maybe stepping that back a little, but we'd like to get the riprap in place to protect the shoreline, make sure that it stops having erosion. So it's there. Once the way the lot is built, it's hard to get access from the top down to the bottom. So I think that part problem, we have easy access. This is kind of where we're at right now.
Thank you. Okay, so in addition to what they submitted initially, we asked for a little more detail, the boat lift. And then there weren't materials specifications about the dock itself. So similar to the one for Chris Bradley's, they provided a photo of a metal frame set aluminum. Same deal of the step going down. Oh, so you're just showing this for the wood.
But then, since they.
That's right.
You can put the composite decking down.
Composite decking.
It's all the docks are either wooden or composite.
So this photo really doesn't deal with your project because you're not using wood and you're not using metal. So this,
I submitted that because that's what, build normally does wooden decking. But the composite decking, you can do that.
right, and it doesn't matter to this board. I mean, I don't think,
Just a different color.
yeah, I get it.
Colors a little bit, right? And what they actually have. Right next door.
Oh, right.
Very dark gray.
With little splats of goose poop. So just as a reminder, In addition to site plan review guidelines, we are supposed to be aware of section 3-4 waterfront structures and the waterfront development guidelines. And a dock can't, this is just highlighting a couple. A dock can't be within 15 feet of the vessel regulation zone, and this is not. It's not even close. I don't know what it is. You may know, but the vessel it's like from
Neighbor's dock is 133 feet and this one's 100. So
right.
we're at least 33 feet away.
Yeah. And that was reviewed and approved, so it's not like the neighbor's longer dock. The neighbor's dock, Smith.
Oh, yes.
Or are you talking about Sameo?
This male dock is 100.
Sameo dock. Yeah. Okay. And it has to be 8 feet or less in width. And it has to have a 20-foot setback from the side property line out into the water. And they're well aware of those. They have placed the proposed dock with that in mind. I would like to take care of our seeker obligation. The applicants got part 1 completed. And our job is to go through part 2 and then make a determination on part 3. And there would be impacts on land, but none of any sizable magnitude. So it's a no or a small impact. Surface water, groundwater, flooding, ag resources, air, plants, animals, aesthetic. The one that has more chance of, because it's in the historic district, that we have to make sure we address historic archaeologic resources, but we have a letter from DEC and we would say there's no or a small impact. So I think given all of those items to consider, it's reasonable to say that there would not be any significant adverse impacts on the environment with this dock. I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Do you want to ask any questions before we open the hearing? Or
Yeah, we had when I think when George Smith submitted his, there was a discussion about length of the dock.
out into the water?
Yeah.
Could be.
And I can't remember.
Well, it may have been dealing with that vessel regulation zone because our law says we can't
Right.
approach that.
Right.
You need
And
to
do you have that? Do you have a copy of that map? Because it's not like a straight line out from, I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah,
here.
it's
You're gonna bring it up?
it's
Craig? Oh,
it's like Craig, you would be an expert in this. It's like 150 feet.
we should have it in our,
Caroline printed that for us yesterday in the local waterfront revitalization plan. She has a binder in there just for this sort of thing. Thank you, Caroline.
I had it here last time. Kind of,
It tapers.
it tapers somewhat and
Want the binder?
Craig can find
I'm
it.
confident that this doesn't, it's not impacted by it. I just like, it would be nice if we could see that.
Oh,
so it doesn't,
yeah.
it would satisfy all the questions and we can see how far away
Sure.
DJ's dock is and everything. It might take me a minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Routinely, Brian, when you deal with this, do you pay attention to that vessel regulation zone? Because like Cape Vincent must have something similar in Clayton.
Typically, they do not.
Pay attention or they don't have.
They don't have a vessel. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, their main concern is navigation.
Right,
So that's what they're looking at.
right.
And there is no regulation anywhere else. When we get in marinas, they're riparian rights and things like that we have to worry about.
Right,
But out in the water, water is, state land. So
right.
for state property underneath the water.
yeah.
So as long as it doesn't impede anyone's navigation for getting to their own personal docks or to a marina, then it's never questioned.
Thank you. By the way, this is 380 pages. This was a massive document. And then there are 3 sets of appendices, one of which is 178 in itself. But this is a compilation of our waterfront management law, our zoning, our heritage area management plan. And it was revised and updated. It started in the 80s and it was updated in 2024. Tremendous amount of info and graphics. So I know there's a map in here. So, and it's all online, but sometimes things like this are much better looked at.
Find it, Greg. It's buried because of just like everything else that we try to find in the village.
I had it,
Website.
I had it last meeting.
I'm looking. Oh. Here it is. It's very tiny, faint lines. I need a brighter light. But here's Navy Point. Here's Samayo's, I believe. And that line I looked the other day when I was on the computer, I think it's like 150 feet.
Behind.
About where they are.
Oh,
I mean, this is Navy Point, right? I mean, this is the Samayo docks, I believe. And so we're talking somewhere, I don't know what that is.
No, hang on.
Oh, the marina,
The
maybe,
village.
the village.
My bearings here.
Oh,
we're going to.
So Navy Point. So this means the village docks are here. That's the village docks.
Village
Yeah.
docks.
There's the ramps.
That's right. So
Yeah.
then,
And then so we'll go up here.
what's that?
This is the
Maybe
village,
that's
this is the
somebody.
regulation zone.
This line.
This is.
No, this
Oh,
is.
yes, but this would be the outer perimeter of
Yep.
it.
And here is,
Oh, there we are.
that's some,
Thank you.
yep. And then here's the Miletus property here.
No, this is the outer perimeter.
Yes,
That's
This
good.
is rent.
Yep. but so is this. Like if we were coloring it
Well,
in, we would shade
This
all
this
this.
is Navy Point's G dock.
Right.
F dock.
Right.
This is our stuff here.
Yeah. That's what we.
This is the
talked
village
about last
side.
week.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the distance is here.
But we're over here is the property. And this little drawing is way too tiny to discern that. But
Oh, okay. Well,
this is 100, I think I checked, this is 150 feet, that distance. So it's,
this isn't the vessel regulation. This is the vessel regulation zone right there.
that's the
That line.
perimeter, right?
That's not the shoreline.
No. Shoreline's faint here.
Yeah.
But this dock is how long? 100?
I can't remember.
Well-
And the reason for the 100-foot depth is you've got a boat lift on one side of the dock, and then in front of that, a jet ski lift. Because you didn't want boat activity towards the village dock, which is very close to the property. All his boat activity is on basically on the west side of the dock, towards the marina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The village dock is to the east side going on the marina. That was done on purpose,
Village dock is to the east side?
yes.
No.
If you're,
PJ's dock is to the east side. It's to the west side.
are you standing on the water, on the
Yes.
dock?
The side of his dock towards me is the east side. Trust me on that.
Looking at my compass.
Well, I don't know what you're doing, but
Well, where are you, I think maybe your point of reference.
North is the village dock looking straight out from the village dock. That's north.
yes, yes, it is. So what I'm saying is the side of his dock, well, maybe you're looking at it from the water.
That's what I'm. your
I'm
point-
looking at it from,
No, from the shoreline, going into the marina is west and southwest. Going into the marina from the Mileta dock,
that's correct.
right? Yes.
And so
Jay's dock
this,
is west of
this-
his.
who's dock?
PJ's.
PJ's. Yes, it is.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what.
Got that worked out. Okay. That's clearly something we need to pay attention to. We can easily determine that it's compliant or not. But there are other things we can look at. You know, we need to look at. And maybe we can, Craig's doing a good job scrolling over there. Or our ex-harbor master guy over there. Okay, I'd like to open the public hearing. If that's okay. Any comments on the dock on General Smith Drive? Anybody online? Okay, no comments. So we'll close the hearing. Okay, so in terms of the dock width, the dimensional considerations, it's 8 feet or less in width. It is 20 feet from the property line from Samayo's. And is that correct?
It's way more than that.
That's right.
Yeah, it's toward
Right.
the east.
Right.
And
And
I drawn 15 feet from the village property here. Because of a big tree that they want to save. Yeah. There.
Is Samayo's dock venturing into your water space on the left side?
It's 9 feet away.
It's 9 feet away? Okay,
Yes.
good.
so you're saying it doesn't, as proposed, it doesn't meet the 20-foot setback from,
Yes.
it does not.
It could, but.
But as you
like I said, there's
proposed,
4 trees there, and they want to place it between 2 of the trees on the east side of the property. And so it's 15 foot from the property line. As drawn right now.
yeah. Honestly, I don't know, and Jim, you may have some comment on this. I don't know process for varying it, like the water, I mean, I don't know if the waterfront management law is more rigid than local zoning, like in terms of an area variance.
Recollection is area variance has to be granted by the village.
And
They came up with max.
just to note, the village dock is not 20 feet from the property,
Right,
either side.
right. Right.
Not that that allows us to break the rules, but the fact that they wanted to save all 4 of those big trees, there is a reason.
So it's not that it's 15 feet from the village dock. It's not,
It's 15 feet from the property line and then the distance from the village dock to the property line. Which
Right.
I did not measure.
well, could you move it, or what you're saying, the tree? I mean, you could go closer to the village dock and meet but
Oh, there's another tree there,
oh, that's the wrong way. Yeah.
right?
So you're 15 feet from where the park is? Is that what it
From the
is?
property line between the Miletta and the village.
Yes, this one shows up
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, my plan view shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. What kind of trees are they?
Black willow, and other maple on the other side. We're trying to save that, a really big maple at the center. That's kind of our.
Yeah.
So if you eliminated, there's one on one side of your proposed dock and one directly on the other side. What's the one on the? That's a it's a big old willow.
Survey. So yeah, the wall. It was in. All's just about right up. They're just to be something within a second. The top part there is the village dock, the small platform on the side. Where that platform sits, it's basically right on the property line there. So it's kind of tough, but between the middle and that, we're trying to make it work.
See if they flip it to the other side.
It's open. Actually, if you flip it too, we just have an interest in this myself, but it's kind of nicer on the other side. It's more.
Yeah,
And it doesn't, it doesn't on the other.
and the other neighbor.
Did you talk, were you able to talk to the village about that?
I kind of mentioned it offhandedly just to see what people's thoughts were about it. Nobody seems opposed. It's a modular dock system, so
Yeah.
there's a few bolts that need to be removed.
Yes.
Honestly, I was gonna went to have it built. I was gonna offer the village if the dock guys already there. Or DPW doesn't apply. See if I take a couple of plates.
I don't see anything, Jim, about varying requirements.
I just remember something came up.
Oh, the one that went to court?
30 years ago. 25 years ago.
Yeah, but I don't see anything in the law that provides provisions to say it can't be our ZBA or to say it has to be. I don't see that. So that's something.
Was that, are you looking in the LWRP?
No, I was looking in the zoning law that tells us to, the regulations about the waterfront management.
Variance should be submitted to the Board of Trustees.
Let's say that again.
Purposes, this is variances.
Oh,
All applications for variances shall be submitted to the Board of Trustees and shall be processed and reviewed as provided for in this section. Board of Trustees may grant a variance to the strict application of the requirements of this local law when it renders specific findings, facts supporting its conclusion, the strict application provision,
and that's specifically in the waterfront management law.
LWRP.
Okay. Which includes the waterfront
So they
management.
bypass the zoning board.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, that's why we had to have that book printed. It was so outdated, wasn't really used very often, but now it's updated and it should be. So that's a circumstance that I personally think posed back to the applicants, like how important is the willow or whatever it is? Do you want to fight to keep it and then ask for a variance from the village board? Or say, or have it, I don't know what your other choices are. But right now, I don't think this board can approve the dock in the location because of that one requirement that needs to be 20 feet from the property line. And yes, the village didn't, but it's one of those weird things. Municipalities and school districts don't have to follow certain laws, including their own.
Well, I can remeasure, and where that, because it looks like on the survey map, the tree is a little bit further to the west than where I drew it. Because I didn't really locate the trees measurement wise on the shoreline. I showed the dock 15 feet from the shoreline because the Department of State requirement is 10.
Wait, what's the requirement?
The Department of State requirement is only 10 feet
For,
from the property line.
okay,
So I showed it at 15. But
Yeah.
I can measure that again, actually from the property line and see where it falls.
do you have a stake right down at the shore on your corner?
That very easily and see if that takes out that tree. So, if it's okay with everybody, we can table this for
a little bit, they're measuring now.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just see if there's anything else procedurally. We did seeker. Let's work through it a little bit more, see if there's any other questions.
What about now, approval from the state? Does that take in all
Well,
four agencies?
you want to address that? All the agencies that have review approval are, what have you heard from those agencies, like OGS, Department of State?
Yes, and DEC are already approved this project, and it's no permit required. And DEC's jurisdiction, it's a letter of non-jurisdiction.
DEC,
DEC.
right. And OG,
Jurisdiction.
and then the OGS
Yes, same thing.
and Department of State.
Current state is under review and they want to know the results of this planning.
Right, and thus like the follow-up comment regarding Bradley's.
What about the Army Corps of Engineers?
So, right.
What'd you say about the Army Corps?
Army Corps will follow suit with Department of State.
So they want to know what we think too.
Yeah, that's Department of State's job.
Right.
LWRP is their doc.
Right, exactly.
So,
And-
Army Corps will follow, we get general concurrence from Department of State, the Army Corps will follow suit because this is a general permit.
And I think we've had this discussion in times in the past, and if the board granted site plan review approval and somebody builds without the permit from another agency, that's not on us. That's, we like to avoid problems, but this is like a tiered permitting process, and our focus is limited to X, Y, and Z. Army Corps, they've got their thing. And Department of State has theirs. And what we do is independent of that. Not to say we don't care, but if we all wait for everybody else, nothing gets done. Right?
Right.
You go first. No, you.
But, okay. Oh, I see.
So, how about, let's talk about the things people will see when they're at the park and looking next door. The dock, the boat lift, the jet ski lift, the composite board. Anybody have any questions on any of that? Or coming in on their boat?
I think the more structures that we have, I like the idea. I think if I owned that property, I'd want to have water access as well. And I hope that we as a village, Miss Valletta, do something more. We're getting more, I've noticed myself, and it's going to affect you soon once you get the dock put in, with the speed of boats coming around that corner. You'll find quickly that becomes annoying very fast. Especially if you're going to be using the water or trying to get on your boat as a boat's coming through and throwing a wake. That's a challenge that we've got as a board, unrelated to the application on hand, but a tertiary kind of problem that you're going to see. The waterfront law that I'm looking at here, and I'm supportive of this plan. I'm just making sure that we're potentially approving something within the bounds of the scope that we've got here. Talks about a 50 feet length limit, unless I'm misinterpreting this, how I'm reading it.
Which number is that?
Yes, that's what
Oh, 9.
that's what I remembered.
From the mean low water mark, not to extend 50 feet into the water unless significant, or I'm trying to find the exact wording. Speak here. Up here. Where's now? I want to find it. I don't see it.
We discussed that when George's dock put in, and I think George's is 60
Who are
feet.
you talking about? George?
George Smith. And I think
Well-
his is 60. And I can't remember if he had to get somebody to sign off on that or not. Get it approved, hopefully.
Was this, hang on. No dock shall be constructed to extend offshore more than 50 feet from the mean low water mark unless it can be clearly demonstrated that any additional length is necessary to achieve adequate water depth for proposed boat dockings, and that such extensions will not adversely affect navigation or the riparian rights of others.
So that's, you're reading directly from the waterfront management law, which isn't in our zoning. So that's what I was looking
So
for.
it's not,
No, it's a, right, Jim? I mean, we have to, yeah.
so section 4-4, paragraph G.
Seemed like that would be something that should be in here, so.
I know, I agree. We're pretty new, but
Maybe that's how George, what he did. Maybe they said it wasn't
I got
deep
it down.
enough. He didn't put it out there more than 60.
Article what?
4-4, I think so.
Okay. Thank you.
As I mentioned, the extra length is because they would like the boat lift and the jet ski lift on the same side of the dock. And the water depth is out in that area because these lifts, the way they work, when the lift goes all the way down and in low water conditions and, you know, usually where we are in August and certainly through September, October, we're usually 2 foot lower than we are right now.
Yeah.
So in low water conditions, these lifts need 18 inches as they hit the bottom for the boat to even get onto the lift.
So where's mean low water mark?
The mean low water mark is 4 feet below the high water mark. Mean low water is elevation 243.3.
So do you have that on your drawing?
Yes, it's on the cross section.
And the high is what, 247.4,
47.3.
0.3.
Two 47.2, okay. Water line, so that's the mean high water,
Yes,
and then the low water's 4 feet beyond that?
below that, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are givens. They've been.
so it's basically. So that really did. That measurement doesn't really change your drawing. I mean, we have no wiggle room there to. So I think the wording that Craig has read is important for consideration. No dock shall be extended offshore more than 50 feet from the mean low water mark unless it can be clearly demonstrated that any additional length is necessary to achieve adequate water depth for the proposed boat dockings and that such extensions will not adversely affect navigation or the riparian rights of others. So the burden to you to present to us to decide is demonstrate that additional length is necessary to achieve your adequate depth for proposed boat dockings and that it's not going to interfere adversely with navigation or other rights.
Right, you've already considered that, correct?
That, yeah, well, we want to find that line to be sure. But, so you're saying you want to extend it so you can have the jet skis out beyond the boat?
Well, the jet ski needs to be at least 4 or 5 feet of water, and the boat lift needs to be at least in 6 or 7 feet of water.
And you want the jet ski place beyond that, out on the outer part?
No, it is. Well, the drawing shows where the lifts are gonna go. They want them on both on the inside part of the dock, so it's not approaching the village.
Okay, oh, okay, so it's, yeah, so the boat's on the outer part.
Dock from where the village,
Yeah.
we're showing off the village dock.
So it's twice as long as what's permitted. Or just 50 is the max. Unless it's demonstrated and yours is 100. So even like, well, we could reduce it by 20. We're still,
Well, how did the dock next to him? Is it because?
the Mayo?
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Those were in violation.
Why is it still there?
You think it predated
Yeah, so maybe I'll rebuild stuff that was already there.
Yeah,
from, oh, like when it was a marina,
Yeah.
and if you,
not a housing project?
and if you check that property line and go out 50 feet, the Mayo's dock is right on the property line.
It looks like it on the survey, yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so that property was there right out there, yes.
Yeah.
The hard part is the property is on both sides are kind of pinched.
Yeah.
Doing a big stock or with the village dock. So that was the idea for that area of what Brian was saying. Is by getting that dock out there longer, then we could stack two boats or a boat,
Yeah.
jet ski or two boats and keep them towards the inside. That's the same thing we're trying to navigate with just the way that's kind of laid out.
Well, I would think you'd be able to get that. It's just that you've got to figure out who.
Well, I mean, there's, the door is open to say, to evaluate is it deemed, to be an acceptable exception. So that,
I can tell you, I was here last Saturday on my boat because I had to do some depth readings in front of Bradley's place. So I drove my boat right down into this marina and about 100 feet out from the shore, right there, it was 6 feet deep.
off from their property,
Yes. Yes.
100 feet
Those
out?
depths are obviously on these drawings because they just did it on Saturday.
So you're saying in front of Miletta's,
It's-
100 feet out, it was 6 feet deep?
Yes,
And this is a high water year.
yes.
I'm looking at my nav chart here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But DEC doesn't say anything about it here.
Well, they don't care about our management law. The EC doesn't.
Well, they care about the minimum and the maximum, and they care about seawalls
Yes, they do.
because the guy lives right down beside the main docks. From the DEC that approves these.
This seawall is above the high water mark.
Okay, yeah,
That's outside of all of their jurisdictions.
okay, that's right.
And the seawall is going in, like Nate said, to protect those trees from any further erosion.
Right,
When and if the water gets to be 249, again, like it was in 2019.
yeah.
So
Okay, so,
Good.
so we know we're going to table this because of the tree, right?
or we can go back to that right now. Nate said,
Okay, so there's an issue on,
More accurate.
sure.
Do you think there's any way you can get it on
Because
the,
that's not one thing that I measured.
Yeah. So the tree and the distance to the property line is one issue. And the length of the dock is another issue. So,
the
I
dock
think-
is going to the, as you're looking at it, the dock is going to the right of the willow tree. Isn't there a lot of room though over on the west side of the willow tree?
You want to move the dock to the middle of your property?
You want to keep it towards the side as much as I could.
Oh,
That area.
okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right, because all his boat activity is going to be on the left side of the dock, basically, as you're looking out. You know, so to keep the dock to the right side of the property gives him more room to be doing that.
Yeah,
Backing the jet ski in and out, that type thing around the boat lift. And keep it away from Samayo's dock. Right.
mhm.
The distance from the property line, I think definitely go measure and revisit.
Yeah,
Even
if we can be that
bring it
back,
back.
I think with that.
The second point about the length of the dock, I do feel that, based on the location of the village dock and how far out we need to get to accommodate the boatings, like it says in the rule, on the left side, is reasonable. With PJ's dock being 135 feet, we're not going to infringe on any waterway or access coming in and out. So that the length of it, I would like to be so we have that ability to put a jet ski boat there or a couple. So I would respectfully request that part. But as far as measuring it, that'd be really easy to go see. We might have 20 feet of air. Sure, they very well. It might be a very easy fix, but there's 20
Right.
feet there, and we've got room.
Change that number on that drawing.
And I was basically trying to summarize where we're at for everybody's benefit, that those are two things. And then we also were a little bit unclear of the distance from the shoreline where the vessel regulation zone is. And I thought that was clear, but it isn't. In your package, did you give us what the shoreline stabilization materials are gonna look like upon completion? Is it like, what are you doing?
2 to 3 foot diameter rocks.
So like stacking boulders?
Yes. You know, two rocks side by side and then one base band.
Okay, so natural
Natural looking granite.
glacial erratics
Yes,
stacked like bowling balls,
Yep.
okay.
yes,
And that's it?
yes.
No riprap, no
That
concrete?
is riprap.
Okay, but so in cages?
No cages.
Okay.
Those- You can't use those anymore.
That's right, okay. And then no concrete surface?
No.
So
No.
all natural,
Natural stone.
okay,
Incorporated right with the trees.
right, it'll look lovely.
So it'll look great.
I don't have any issue with the length or anything. I
You
just
don't have what?
any issue with the length of the dock. It makes with
Oh, it's important to address.
aligned with all reads. and-
Yeah.
Is there a plan for the lighting? That's just like one of the,
Yeah,
during the hours of darkness, structures that are 100 feet or longer must be lighted and marked in such a manner not to constitute a hazard in navigation. Lighting must not be confused with navigational lighting and must meet U.S. Coast Guard standards.
oh, the lights on the public dock are bright enough.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
PJ stock does not have the lights.
Again, that's
Of course not.
Yeah, it's supposed to have lights.
a little solar light, what's it say?
Well, that's what I'm gonna say, because solar lights can be very easily installed. out there.
Right.
Yeah.
What's it say, what's
It doesn't
required?
specify.
What is it, could you read that section again?
It just said must be lighted and marked in such a manner so as not to constitute a hazard in navigation. So it's pretty open to,
So at the end of the dock, a little solar light and then both railings, I would recommend.
Yeah. Department of State actually mentioned that.
Well, in terms of the information provided on the depth, just a week ago or a few days ago, with the higher water we still have, I'm fine with the exceeding the 50 feet. 50 feet doesn't seem practical.
Greg, when you were looking at attached depths, what did you find for depth?
It's hard to tell because it's so close to shore. And it's only as accurate as the data put in when they were making this, and they weren't looking at it with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, it's only showing 4 or 5 feet there.
Right.
There's another,
Yeah. it's a good-
Right. Well, at the village dock, you're diving in there, you should do a shallow dive.
well, most of the harbor is only 8 feet deep, isn't it?
Deep,
It is?
deep.
In front of Bradley's, the Navionics app that I have, they do the same thing you're looking at, or Garmin?
No, I'm looking at.
It's about 12 to 14 throughout the vessel regulation.
Well,
That would
14.
bring on with what I got on my depth finder on my boat.
and that was 16 feet?
Yeah.
I was surprised when I read that.
16 to 18
It-
feet,
it's-
right off the shoreline.
Yeah.
You've got a steep shoreline going in too.
Right, but still, it's
Yeah, no, this one always shows
5 or 6.
Right.
Okay, so what are we gonna do here?
Well,
Before they start.
Go.
Yeah. But did we,
what do we do? What are we making them measure? Something about the tree to move the dock so it doesn't?
I believe that we can put the dock 20 feet from the property line and not disturb that tree, just based on the survey here.
To meet the
That's
setback
something that I imagine.
without a variance.
To meet the setback without a variance.
We can't vary it, but we can vary the dock length.
How, and that, is that, you know, I don't want to, does it screw, how bad does that screw up? Would you rather have a variance or the,
As long as we can. It's very important to my partner that those trees are good. Really my partner. She loves the trees. We've been-
I do too. This looks nice.
So if I can keep that willow, I don't mind it being 20 feet in instead of 15. It's not the end of the world. I just would like to try to keep that willow if I can help it. So if you can give us the grace to, Brian, I can run over there and get a proper measurement for you. We could bring it back. in
Yeah. Okay,
10 minutes with
all right. Well, what do we have to do procedurally? Just like,
can we finish some other business for this?
Yeah.
Suspend this for right now?
table this for now. Okay,
Second.
second. Oh, are the kids in our care? They're being so good. Are they on a screen? Not too late to get an ice cream.
I would think there's, I didn't want to throw a wrench in that because
Okay,
that platform is very close to his property.
okay, so,
Cement platform, the village platform down there. I don't know what it is, but I think it's less than 10 feet.
okay, so looking for my agenda. Messy pile here. Oh, okay, something. So, under old business, application 25-42, Mike Yankovic. Back in October of 2025, this board reviewed the subdivision, final approval for the phases yet to be completed, made a minor amendment to the PDD for the lot, house configuration, lot site, where the house could be placed in the lot. We didn't vary the lot sizes, we varied the distance of setbacks. And we approved 6 house designs. And the plan was to build 4 houses, 4 in a row. And this board expressed interest in having some variety in design. And I believe the applicant said they would be different colors. So now there are 4 houses and there are 2 different colors. They're all one design. And Mike is here. And my understanding is he would like to move ahead and build 4 more houses following on that road, and that would complete that street, whatever it's called. And he would like to build 2 different styles that are not part of the 6 we approved. And the 2 different styles, and you should elaborate, but basically to summarize, are slightly bigger. And he's probably got his reasons for that. So this conversation began when he inquired whether he could get a zoning permit. And so Jim and I spoke, and basically the planned development district for that parcel says that houses, each house needs site plan review. So last fall, we thought we were opening the door to moving ahead by approving 6 designs. These designs have not been approved, so technically we could argue they need site plan review because that's what the law says. On the other hand, you could say these are, especially this one that's 3-bedroom, under 1,500 square feet, looks significantly like the others. So maybe it's okay to throw these in with the approval of the others, we amend our approval and give him that. So the discussion is focusing on that, what the law says we need to do, what the applicant's requesting. And then I want to add that because the property next door, Harold Crane's development, is in the process of being sold and going to be built out, developed. I've had calls with DEC. They're reviewing the infrastructure for that. And through the conversation, this project came up and they want to have some documentation about this project that they never got because it was reviewed 23 years ago. And DEC in Watertown wants to see some things they don't have. So in my mind, that is also a factor here, that we have 2 new plans to discuss with Mike that are very much alike. And I feel that that other part is part of what this planning board should be paying attention to. That, and I've talked openly with Mike about this and the village engineer and said, I think the engineers from DEC, Mike's crew, and our village engineer should all talk. It's not this board's job to make that happen. And if he keeps building without DEC's record of approval, that's not on us, that's on him and DEC to figure out. However, when a zoning permit is granted, I don't know, I don't want to put words in Jim's mouth, but I have the sense that it's like okay to go ahead because everything is in order to now put a house on that lot as long as it complies with the building envelope of the PDD and the design this board has said is okay.
So for 4 additional, well, 2 have been approved and 2 more.
No, that we've given him approval on 6 different
So that means-
designs.
He wants to have 8.
He,
So it's only 2 additional.
2 new ones right here,
Right.
yeah. Right, but we didn't advertise this, we didn't hold a public hearing, all which is required for site plan review. So coming in tonight, asking us to do this, is personally, I look at it and go, they look a lot like the other ones, I don't have a problem with it. But I also am very aware of procedures, and I'm also aware that it was pretty rough when this went through because there were neighbors, and there are still neighbors that are not happy with this because they felt cut out of having a say. And I don't want to just plow ahead and make another problem. It's like, well, you guys are just handing out favors right and left and counting us out of it. So I don't want that decision, and I don't think Jim wants that. I wanted everybody here to weigh in on that and not just us. Because I understand you want to get things done. But,
I gotta have to get things done.
right, but I also know you understand there are things, procedures that have to be followed, and
May I ask what the neighbors, what were they not?
before, well, at the public hearing, I don't think you were here, your engineer was here. You were here, okay. They emailed a list of questions about the size of the houses, sidewalks, would they be rented, would they be sold? And how small the lots were, all that. And we basically had to say, you can tell us that, but we have no say over this because those decisions were made 20 years ago. And then the sidewalk thing came up, and it's like, well, the plan shows sidewalks. Well, the mayor took that out. And that's something this board would typically deal with. And so,
Constructed, those were approved 20 years ago, so they were on constructive notice, whether they actual notice or constructive notice. They had knowledge.
it's that, those people that live there did not have knowledge. They know, but we can argue this, but Their homes were not there, and they know there will be homes built behind their homes on Harbor Meadows, whether they knew there would ever be Harbor Haven. But I'm just saying that they were unhappy that let's say they wanted a sidewalk. And this board can say, yes, we can put a sidewalk, and your plans actually showed a sidewalk. And it was Alex that took that out because he didn't think you needed to have a sidewalk and that would cost extra money or whatever. So they felt gypped on their right to participate. That was the one. And then there was,
One road with sidewalks. I own the entire road. So they're concerned about sidewalks on somebody else's road.
Whereabouts is that?
well, it's village sidewalks. It's village sidewalks on the road, and the village is gonna own the road. And, but some,
Where do you own the road?
I don't own the road.
Oh, okay.
but this board has the authority to require sidewalks.
Well, and he
Yeah,
did.
And it does in the PD and the plans. You said that was approved 3 years ago. Yes, they were, and it shows sidewalks. But when you met with Alex and whoever else and made the infrastructure agreement, he took that out to save money for your development. And,
No, I'm being held, that's.
but that didn't,
nothing to do with it.
yes, in terms of the public participation in the process, yes, it does. That they felt they wanted to have their,
That, whether the mayor agreed to that or not.
Right.
It's on the mayor, it's not on me.
The thing you have to keep in mind is there was a plan that was approved.
right,
That's a deviation from the approved plan. That opens the village and you up to an Article 78 going to Supreme Court and having a judge decide whether sidewalks should have been left in or it was okay to take out.
That would be fine, I understand.
Yeah, but it's an expense that, I'm not sure that the village really wants to take on, or that, I don't know the involvement of parties involved in the, but I know it's expensive.
It's
But
just
that's
we're
not a public
We're
street.
talking about sidewalks tonight where that decision had already been made. We're talking about
Right.
style of homes.
I know, but you asked me why neighbors were upset, and that was one example. And then a neighbor was upset about the easement, and the planning board typically would ask, we need a copy of all easements. The night the planning board reviewed this, there was not one easement in any documentation you provided. I got a call the next morning from a neighbor saying a man was at my door wanting me to sign an easement. What's this easement about? And I said, I have no idea. So.
He was very rude to me and I politely said, never mind.
Okay, but I don't want to get into that, but you asked me,
Yeah.
why are people upset? And now people, I told you on the phone yesterday, people don't like the looks of the big hole. When is he going to fix it? So those are things that, whether they're valid or not, they're there.
That's the thing I think you got to keep in
Yeah.
mind. They can create a lawsuit.
So that's why I'm saying if we did these without advertising it, putting it on the agenda, having a hearing, it's a very minor change. Go ahead and order those plans tonight. Go ahead. But we would be bypassing what the law says we're supposed to do. Sometimes it may be okay to do that and take your odds on that ever having any repercussion. I threw all that out because of what has happened here in the past. I want your development to be a success. I'm not, and I feel at times you must think I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm not. I'm trying to protect the residents, the neighbors, community investment, and you. Like, if we rush through this and then 2 weeks from now, somebody's like, I thought they were all under 1,000 feet or under. Now they're bigger, and those are small lots. It looks too big on that little lot. It's like, well, when did you approve that? Well, I mean,
I'd have to look at the other six. I don't even know if size of these, or I think they are very comparable to the other six. And I don't think they're really any change in materially speaking. They're essentially the same thing.
very similar style and
They're all,
feel.
they're all under 1,500 square.
All first floor.
all one story.
What's one that showed,
These are nicer than the ones that were approved.
did one show a stairway going, like one drawing? Like,
They're all four will be built on slabs.
look at this one.
I see the first picture.
It's between the bedroom 3 and the family room and bedroom 2, or bedroom 2 and the family room. And it shows,
There could be a lower level, there's a lower level that it's optional, but that won't be the case because it's a slab. I'm doing a slab option.
well, that's what I thought, but this is what you sent, so I wanted to know what we're talking about.
Regarding the sidewalk, you're saying that's the village responsibility?
Yeah.
Even though that's private
Well-
property right now. There's no street.
When the PDD was approved,
Okay,
the developer was going to put in the sidewalks, then turn them over to the village.
okay.
So that's been taken out, and it was not taken out with public notice and public hearing.
Taken out by the mayor.
Right, in the infrastructure agreement.
He didn't take it out to save the village money. He took it out to save the developer money.
What?
I believe to make it a feasible project.
Right.
It's arguably not feasible as it is.
And it's not to say that that could.
But the problem is you bring these things for us and I gotta say, I walk with a bunch of people on Saturday mornings. 3 of them live on Funnyside Drive and they just hate this project. And they don't understand it. They don't understand why we approved it. There's been terrible rumors going around that, oh, okay, it's assisted living. And no, it's not assisted living.
We tried to take care of that rumor.
Yeah, and so there's been a lot of rumors. But
That's 100% false.
I guess the neighbors,
For it to be a field, it's got a field on a paper street owned by the village.
well, what is it now?
It's gonna be nice homes there once it's done.
And you're gonna wait till it's done to sell a home?
Well,
Do you tell everyone what you're gonna do with your property? Like, I don't have.
No, I'm just asking, do you,
Maybe.
well, the neighbor
Really
does,
doesn't, some of this stuff doesn't really matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter what people think of it, it's what they do
Right.
with it.
right.
And it's all comes down to procedure.
I hear what you're
If the
saying.
Procedure was followed, everybody, you'd be able to.
We
move
just
on.
ignore neighbors and everybody else, is what you're saying, Jim, and that's,
No, I'm not saying ignore neighbors. I'm saying you take them into account by having the proper procedure to have a public hearing. You have public notice.
right. But when we approved this, we approved it. And I asked him at the time if he'd ever built these homes before, and he said no. And I said, okay, so you plan on selling them? And no,
Well, at the time I recall, he said maybe rent some, maybe sell some, that would be to be determined. And that's okay. That's not up for us.
The scope of what we're,
That's
yeah,
not-
it really is beyond the scope, but it would be nice to know that.
Right, but the fact of the matter, what we're talking about this evening
I
is,
can give you an answer today, but I'm not gonna be held to it. Okay, I
Right.
don't have the 100%
Right.
answer, so I'll tell you one thing, and that's the
Right.
rumor. And then if I don't do it, then
right, so that's okay.
it's better that I did not say.
Yeah,
Can I ask something applicable here? Your next 4 houses, like, there's 2 new designs, like, what's the distribution of that? And
2 and 2.
just 2 and 2? Yeah, okay.
And if I do 7 more, which I hope to,
And,
those would be at least 2 or 3 more designs.
and they would be on the other side of
They
the,
loop it around, and
the
green space in the
retention.
middle. And when I'm done, objectively, I think it'd be far nicer than what it was before I started the project.
Now, when you say green space, do you mean that retention basin?
Yes,
You intend to turn that into green space?
yes.
Okay.
and we had that discussion yesterday, and I would like to have some clarification on how that's going to proceed, because it is village property, but the design of that was integral to his stormwater permit. So it isn't just, oh, let's just grade it off. It has to be done in accordance with the plans. And yes, it's village land, but his property, it was a field, and then the soil, the fill has been removed, and now something has to happen to make it into green space. And that's, I contend, his responsibility because it's part of his stormwater permit, and that's what the plan was approved. And I'm not sure everybody agrees with that, so I would like some clarity on that, because that's an important part of this plan that was approved 20-some years ago. As you can't leave it as a big pit or as sloppily graded. It has a very important function, and there's a lot of drainage issues on that side of the village, getting it to go to across Main Street. So all grading from your site, off-site, is affecting everything around it. So we need to make sure it's done in accordance with the plans.
My recollection is the developer who proposed smaller lots in the green space. He would develop the green space, and he had this, I don't remember what it was called. It's not like a storm water garden like
Yeah.
Madison Barracks, but it's, you know, a design to have green space that also took care of this.
Yeah. And at this point, it's not like a playground or the plan. It was like to be usable green space, so that if there are kids that live in those houses with small lots, they can go out and play kickball or frisbee across the street, and it's green space that's for the residents that live there.
I think it's the Kearns
Right.
project, when that originally started, at some point they changed the plans there and they redirected the stormwater from what my engineer Matt. So that green space that I surround formerly was going to be the stormwater facility for Krings, and then they redirected it somewhere else, maybe.
Well, there is that more of a retention pond.
So the green space where I surround has become somewhat obsolete, I believe,
Well,
for stormwater purposes. But I acknowledge that it's got to be finished and look nice.
Right. Well,
You may be right there. I think the village took on some of that.
oh, the village did that, and the state,
At some point
Right.
during that original developers.
and the village got I think, a $70,000 from the state legislature, which compliments of Senator Jim Wright when trying to help the village deal with it. My point on this is I want our village engineer to look at the plans and know what our stormwater system is, and DEC, your stormwater management plan, to protect the people that live next door on Funny Side, to protect the people that live in Shipyard Apartment, the whole neighborhood. It's an integrated system, and not just, as you said, I think it's now an outdated plan.
Oh, I know. I'm not
Let's make
saying
sure
no,
it
but
is. Yeah, let's, so I personally want to see documentation that whatever the elevation lines are and design on that, your plan that was approved, that the PDD was based on, is still consistent, which is basically what I was saying when I was meeting you 18 months ago.
Right, and so
And
I acknowledge that, but so my engineer has been. I want to get those answers as much as you do.
Yeah.
But site plan was approved and then an infrastructure agreement was put in place.
right,
If you're now saying this needs to be tabled for a reason to reopen that can of worms, then we're going, like, that's wasn't the purpose of.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm
My engineer is working closely with the city engineer and DEC right now.
city engineer
I'm sorry.
or the village.
Village engineer. It's in the city, I know, so, but I'm sorry. And they're working to sort
Right.
that out, and I feel like that's an issue that is somewhat outside the scope of what we're talking about right now, because that would be addressed.
I agree, we are talking about your house design, but I would want an assurance that we're on our way to resolve, making clear the outcome of that stormwater. And that DEC is satisfied, not to say no permits will be issued. I'm just saying,
I have just as much of an interest in getting that
I know you do.
as you guys do, so
So,
I'm adamant.
so let's talk about the design, because that's what his request is. So he wants to, I guess, know that he could build homes like this. They've not yet been approved, so we need to approve it. And we've talked about the TDD. Mike asked, what you would build. You said two of each. Would you build two of one and two of the next, or would you alternate?
I'd say two.
That's what you meant, staggered. And how about color?
They'd be similar, but I would think different than the first floor.
So you have, is that green and
Gray.
gray? So you would,
Neutral color. I think both of those colors there fit in the neighborhood and it.
Yeah. so two houses would be a blue-ish something and two would be something else. Right? Okay. And I think ultimately you need to tell us which, well, this Jim would be, but I think this is in their PDD, which design you're using on the next four permits. That's
These are the two.
just these two.
Just these two.
Okay.
2 and 2.
And then, yeah. So what's your thought? What's your thought on this dilemma?
Well, if I may, it was a key point when we were talking about, I was here for that meeting when I was telling, even talk wanting more design. Now we got them, right?
Yeah.
So we got more designs. I know that
Good point.
we're bound by a change in the law, right? But, you know, I think that, fit the same style as what's there, right? I don't think it's dressed, it's not like it's a completely different style. It fits. So why would we say no to something that's going to actually overall help? Instead of, I mean, if houses are going to be built anyway, which people already don't like, well, that's too bad, I guess, you know, it's already going. Why not help enable more aesthetic look by, to me, it's easy to justify. But that's just my opinion.
I agree with Craig. I think it's easy to justify. I think, it sounds like we're discouraging this, but no, absolutely. We want to see these you be successful on this and complete them. It's just that, is there, now again, this is beyond the purview of this board, but do you have I've driven by there a number of times. Do you have a big sign that shows what the finished development would look like? Is that a really expensive thing to do?
I just haven't explored that. Yeah.
Maybe something you might want to think about it, because I think it would I think people aren't coming in. Some of the people aren't coming in to look at, you can look at the one on the end, right? Aren't coming in because neighbors are discouraging them. And, we don't want that.
I'm not advertising anything and I'm getting calls every day.
Are you? Okay. Oh, good.
I know that people don't like the structure around their homes. And if it just doesn't, if I gotta delay another month, then that hole's gonna be there for another month. So it's like I'm trying to get this project done so that it looks nice there. So I don't have this is a project of mine that I wanted to take on, and it's not necessarily for a short-term gain. And I felt it helps the community, and if I turn out to be wrong on that, then so be it. But I think I'm doing my part to help the school system, to help the community. And if your neighbors feel differently, then I guess we'll just.
They just don't understand it. That's part of the problem.
Okay. So I think these are essentially the same. If I didn't say anything, I'm doing it in good faith. If I didn't say anything, because I would have built these 4 houses and they're basically aligned with the other 6. I just acknowledge to Jim when I go, they're different, but they're essentially the same.
Do they, does this require a motion?
Yeah. So Mike, did you weigh in on this? I mean, we didn't make a motion yet, but I don't know.
Don't really have a lot to add. Like I'm kind of leaning towards like what Craig said.
And Dick's not here and I spoke to him today about why he's not here, but I told him we were going to talk about a couple things that were popped up and I explained this and he felt following procedure was important. So, but he's not here, he can't vote, but I asked him his opinion.
So I'd like to make a motion, if I may,
Okay.
to approve the 2 additional designs to be intermixed with what's already being planned to be built.
Second.
Thank you, Craig and Merle. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to vote no. Again, not because I don't want these and I'm very supportive, but I am concerned about our procedure. And I'm also concerned about, I want to make sure, which I know will happen, but I think it's important for the record that we have some outstanding issues with DEC that need to be resolved, that I have no doubt they will be resolved, but they're not right now and they need to be. And then the details on the stormwater green space, that needs to be resolved also. So that if we had waited a month, we could have let some of that come to resolution and then everything would be in good housekeeping order following procedures. But you have your 3 votes. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think personally having a 3-bedroom option is probably beneficial.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll be in touch over some of those other details. Okay. To the shoreline. I thought this was going to be a really short meeting. I wasn't ready for all this.
There's one that we just found out, so.
Oh,
Good. We're
okay.
absolutely okay there. I put 15 foot down there arbitrarily because like I said, Department of State's requirement is 10. So I knew the contractor would spot that between those trees. I didn't physically measure those trees. I didn't think they'd be part of this evaluation, but that first tree is on the line, like it shows. The second tree is 35 feet away from the property line. We can put that dock right in the middle of those trees and be 20 feet away from the property line with no problem whatsoever.
Will you, assuming we move forward this, will you amend your drawing for it?
Do anyway for the Department of State.
Right, we need that for our
Yes.
record. So I was looking for the drawing when you were saying all that, so it was.
Yep.
Can you say that one more time,
That
please?
second tree is 35 feet away from the property.
Okay.
The willow
So, yes,
Yeah, the will.
yes.
This.
is 35 feet?
Yes.
And you want to put it on just this side of the willow?
We're right in the middle of those trees at 20
Yeah.
feet away from the property.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna just change this drawing so that it says 20 feet instead of 15. I'm not gonna redraw the whole thing, but that's gonna say 20 feet. That'll Department of State's, distance is only 10, but they noticed the 20 feet in your law as well. So I will respond to them tomorrow with that. And I'll copy you on the response.
So the dock stays in the same place as,
Yeah, well, yeah, as I have it drawn here, yes, it's gonna be 20 feet off the property line.
But you're not moving the dock in relation to the trees or anything like that? And you're drawing.
Between the trees and 20 feet off the property line.
Right, okay.
So, yes,
Okay,
it's still on the east side of the.
Yeah.
property.
right, I just want to,
And the
okay.
village dock is 7 feet off the property line.
Well,
That's the aluminum portion, that's only 4 feet wide. The
Yeah,
other portion actually crosses his line.
what the cement does,
Yes.
the platform,
Yeah,
really, it's right on your line, huh?
the floating dock and then the little floater next to that,
Yeah,
that actually crosses over the line in my opinion.
okay. What about the cement platform? That's pretty close also, isn't it?
That's, yes, so that's even closer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. that's-
so you might want to write a letter to a village trustee.
But also your offer to move that platform to the other side. Would give more space to everybody.
Yeah, I'll have to decompress that area.
What did you say the distance of the village?
The aluminum dock
Yeah,
is 7 feet from that property pin.
right,
The concrete slab is about 3 foot.
yeah.
And the platforms in the water, platform in the water from, to the naked eye crosses into the riparian rights of our property.
Okay. All right, so that's that issue. And the documentation about exceeding the 50 feet length. I don't have a problem with that. I feel the rationale provided satisfactory to me, but
Dude, we say we have a complete application yet.
no,
I make a motion that we have a complete application.
Second.
thank you, Mike. So, the outstanding issues we had, Mike brought up lighting, so we're gonna add a light somewhere, right? Put it out on the end of your dock. Maybe add that on your application that we, or we could just, and then, the length of the dock is 100 feet, and the rationale, your request is because the depth is not great enough for, could you put that in your words?
Yep, that'll be on there as well.
All right. Oh, that's great. Thank you.
It's gonna get a sailboat with a 15-foot keel there. So,
And then the only other thing is just to validate where the vessel regulation zone is. I feel it's not within 15 feet of it, but I don't know that.
Can't find the thing.
We need
Last
to,
week.
we need to figure this out for future,
Yes, we do.
anything to do with water. We need to see the vessel regulations,
Right.
Yeah.
see the overlay.
I feel like on the computer,
We had a good map of it that was handed out, and I had it last meeting. Looking through all this stuff, I can't find it. That'd be helpful.
so, assuming it's not closer than 15 feet to the vessel regulation zone, which I don't think it is, but I don't really know. I'm fine with materials of the dock, of the shoreline wall, the dimensions. I mean, I don't have any problem with any of it.
I don't either.
For me,
You're good?
I'll make a motion that we approve the application as submitted with the changes that we talked about for the drawings. And justification added for why it's beyond the 50 feet.
Second.
Thank you. Craig and Merle, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hey. Did it.
We'll revise that tomorrow.
All right, great.
Oh, are you gonna, I have to read this photo. Are you gonna, I'm assuming we have to have electric out there and water too, or? Okay, and it's gonna be permanent all winter too as well? Happy to talk to you offline about some recommendations to keep it from eating your electric lines
The
and,
contractor does that every single day, so.
oh, that's right, Box doing it. That's right. I'm sorry, yeah, okay.
Okay, we have three other things that popped up, not, two are not anywhere near like this. One, Brian is involved with, he had correspondence from Department of State about the Bradley dock we approved.
Is that the young man that was trying to?
Yeah, about Tin Pan Store.
So Nate can get his permit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's done. He's just staying for entertainment. Right.
the other day.
So do you want, and we don't have to do anything, but especially because we've been discussing this, I thought it was, and we're on correspondence, so I figure. So go ahead, tell them what the question is.
The issue on Bradley dock?
Yeah.
Yes. I have one young project manager from the Department of State that doesn't realize that we have approved probably 20 dock parallel to the shore like the Bradley's design is.
Oh.
When they have a steep cliff as their topography of their shoreline. Because that is in Department of State's eyes, their shoreline. Because there's no other access to the water when you have a steep cliff, and then his is 25, 30 feet tall. So I've done it at least 20 times on the river. And Department of State has approved every one of them. So this one will be approved. He just asked questions and wanted justification in the file as to why that dock was next to the shoreline. And the reason is that it's 8 to 10 feet deep right on the shoreline. I had my boat right on touching the rocks, measuring the depth there. And then when you get about 15 feet off the shoreline, it drops to 15 feet. And then 18 feet, and then it stays 18 feet all the way up into the channel. Well, as far as I measured it out. So that the depth becomes an issue. If you move that dock away from the shoreline, and you've got long pilings and things that's going to stand up to the wind and wave action coming straight direct down Black River Bay into the main channel or from the main lake. And then any ice movement and things there, you want to have that dock up against those rocks as extra support.
Yeah.
So once he understands that, his boss already does. So I've already talked to his boss about that whole issue and it'll be approved.
How would they propose getting to the dock if you can't have them on the?
That's back in the Right, you have a set of steps basically suspended over the water.
Okay, that's what I was.
Like the ones further down on Storrs Road, basically. Cliffhangers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they were all permitted.
Another great point. And that's
Okay, so I just thought the board needs to hear that. Thank you. Lakeview subdivision, we've had on our agenda pending items. As far as I can tell from talking to our village engineer and Greg Townsend, the trustee that deals with this, Lakeview subdivision, close out on the infrastructure agreement, everything has been met. There was a drainage problem on the roadway in front of the apartments. And I asked if all the easements, everything had been conveyed. And Greg didn't know for sure, but he thought probably. And I said, well, should check on that. So, but so it appears we're good with that. Okay. We have two things, actually. Jeremy Campbell is here this evening. And I think I sent the planning board a letter that I sent to Jeremy and Zeke Martinoff. Did I send that to you? No?
I don't remember.
So it was just the village board. Okay. Recently, I've had questions whether the planning board, and a part of it was coming up through the community visioning sessions.
Oh,
And then all the talk in the community about housing and growth and all this. So the question is, did the planning board approve what's being built at Madison Barracks? And often with a little bit of a negative tone to that question. Like, yes, it has been. Well, is what's being built following the approved plans? It's like, well, I don't know. And it took me a long time to make time to do this, but it turns out two are not. And one is the red one Jeremy built. And there are a few items there. And another is the stucco one Zeke Martinoff owns. So Jim and I talked about it and we felt the best thing is not to start right off with an enforcement letter, but a letter saying it's come through questioning. It's come to our attention that the approved plans have not been followed. Some things would probably be considered relatively minor by some people and others might say it's more significant. So we wrote a letter and I guess I really thought I sent it to you and I apologize, I didn't. Basically, the conclusion was wanting Jeremy and Zeke or his architect to come to the board so we could discuss these items. Zeke's architect called me and Zeke's out of the country or something right now, so he can't come. And the architect said, it's not my thing. I'm the architect, but he did relay the info and has played intermediary with me on the phone. So they would like to come in September. And the message from Mr. Martinoff is he's not happy, that he might have to change things, but he will do what he needs to remedy whatever we perceive the problem is. Jeremy, I didn't know he was coming tonight, so I didn't put this on the agenda. But he doesn't want to be in bad standing, so he showed up because the letter said we would like to talk to you in our next meeting is. So I said, let's not talk tonight about their detail because we're not ready. We don't have the plans out. And clearly I didn't share all the details with you. But
I remember all the details.
just for your sake, for the record, the garage door is not the garage. It's a much more contemporary door. If you walk by or drive by, you'll see that. The front door to the pedestrian front door is not the door that was approved. Similarly, it's kind of.
Matches the garage door though, similar.
And then, there were no shingles. Oh, well, you had some stonework, but it's a different color, I think. And then the shingle, the fake shingles, whatever you, were not on the material list. Okay, so, and he has reasons why he did some, he may have not reasons for others, whatever. I don't think tonight's the night to discuss it, but I wanted to bring this out for our discussion, and we'll plan on it in September. And we'll have the drawings, and we'll listen to what Jeremy has to say, and we'll express our viewpoints. And that'll give you time to drive by and look at it.
All that letter, sorry, it was a while ago. It wasn't recent.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't have a meeting, yeah.
That was it. Okay, because I was feeling embarrassed that I didn't share it with you. So
Can I request we situate it?
what's that?
Can I request that we deal with it now? I guess.
Uh,
I got big pictures.
no, I think we need to have the drawings and a photo and time to process it, because it's already, we've been dealing with other stuff, as you're well aware.
I don't feel prepared to discuss it because I haven't done enough looking into it. So I'm going to discuss it. We got to look at.
We can figure out details on how that proceeds, whether we, I don't know, I can talk to you about how we do it, so it's a comfortable thing for you and us.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's fault of mine.
And the one question I have about it
Yeah.
is the green card.
Oh, right.
I think we gotta make sure that. Oh, I know that now that's.
I don't think I was getting that.
And that's right, that came up,
And
and
came up with, like, was the next one.
Subsequent.
it was Zeke's second design where it came up. And this is part of why
The infrastructure.
the infrastructure and, it's like the conversation with this other one. And with Lakeview, I kept wanting to slow the brakes because we didn't have everything, and there was big push, got to get this going because we got to make money, all that stuff. And then the stormwater permit, all that unfolds. So it was after the fact, and we already had houses being built. And so I think Zeke's architect for his second house said, well, I guess, and he included it on the plans, but that house has not been built retroactively. And also there is really no enforcement of that. Like probably the best enforcement is if there's a problem with stormwater and somebody complains. The reason there's a problem is that they didn't follow their stormwater plan.
Well, it wasn't a village requirement, it was a DEC.
DEC's requirement,
DEC
right?
doesn't check to make sure it was.
And when the properties are being sold, the buyer's not being notified.
Yeah.
Which one's the Martinoff is the.
Stucco one right next to my campus. And there's a lot for that one too.
Yeah, well, I don't see that one because it's,
Not trying to hide anything.
because they're in.
Yeah.
If you take a run down
Mistake.
Yeah.
the garage door and on the lakefront side.
Is it in the letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe not as much detail, but I can fill you in on the detail on that. So, all right, so we'll have it on the agenda. I think before then, you and I should talk a little bit about, what you want to say, or you figure it out, but we need to,
I know,
yeah.
I know exactly what to say, so it's.
Okay.
I'll do whatever I need to do to please everybody. I'm always in Second Harbor. I don't want to be the one getting finger pointed at. It's nobody's mistake.
And then I don't know,
forgot what doors I put on my application.
I know you,
My wife and I are picking stuff out, and she's like, oh, I like that. I said, okay, perfect.
yeah, so,
But,
No
sometimes,
excuses.
you get into a situation where a product's not available, so you think something that's close to it or something like that. I think.
And that wasn't even the case.
But that's the thing that we need to impress upon
Honesty,
people who have to go through site planning.
rare in this world.
You gotta build what was proposed. If it changes, you gotta come back. And, some minor changes, to lighting or something like that, maybe we can just kind of say, okay, it's an amendment.
and honestly,
Changing the design of a house maybe is a little bit more than that. He's talked that he might have other designs coming forward. If that's the case, I think he should go through site plan review and not just an amendment again.
and honestly, I hadn't noticed the detail. I knew I didn't love some of what I was seeing there, and that's sort of what people were expressing. But then they said, well, did you approve? Yeah, so New York State even said it's okay, huh? And then the question, well, are they building what you approved? It's like, I don't know. And so then I got the plans and it's like, oh my gosh, no.
And, there's, you folks take care of a lot of those details. Try to come to the meetings, get familiar with those details. But, I don't go down the streets, in a patrol car.
Checking.
See if someone put the garage door that they said they were going to put in. And, so I rely on people that, just casually go by and say, hey, wait a second, that might not be the same. And,
The honor system doesn't work that good.
yeah, no, it doesn't.
Okay, one last thing. Whiskey Coop,
Oh,
the
boy.
tent.
You just want to bring out the gambit?
No. Let's,
There's gonna be a,
What else?
are you going down to Whiskey Coop?
Probably should start.
Thank you.
Thanks. So another visioning community conversation was to get a read on what the people of the community think about our historic district and businesses, and are we too tough, too lenient, blah, blah, blah. So of course, it didn't come right out and say, what do you think about the Whiskey Coop?
Yeah.
Okay, but there was a lot of, just like Madison Bear said, is that stuff really approved? And as part of that, Sarah Maletta and Kelly Soba took it upon themselves to go to Whiskey Coop and talk to Scott Goodrich and Cheryl Chafe with the idea they wanted to get a sense and try to help get the solution to the problem on the table. Well, no big answer has been found, but recently, I guess, maybe Kelly asked Craig, have you come up with anything? Or
Scott.
Scott,
Yeah.
yeah. Have you come up with anything? He does have a brother, Craig.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, we were kind of waiting for you guys because you came and asked us. It's like, okay, whatever. So there is a zoning rewrite committee that was reauthorized to dig into this. And it's Jim, me, Dave Altieri, Sarah Maletta was put on it. And she owns some Airbnbs. And Frank Reynolds is ZBA chair. We're looking at a number of things, but Whiskey Coop is a big one. And looking at the tents that could be historic. If like what's better than what they've done, if the community felt that was a reasonable thing to do. And then if the community felt, the community also meaning this board, that no tents are acceptable, do a more permanent structure with some kind of a boat canvas enclosure. You take it off in the summer and you have it enclosed for winter, some happy medium. So we had a meeting this morning and I'm here to update you on that and pose a question because Sarah wants to go back and talk to Whiskey Coop and kind of deliver what this committee is thinking. But I want to say that I spent a lot of time online with searching Google and Google AI from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Boston, Baltimore, Newport, Rhode Island, examples, streets, tents, blah, blah, blah. And then a week ago was much more specific, asking question, and I took a picture of Whiskey Coop's patio with the boathouse and asked about how to do or considerations for a more permanent structure like a pergola or something with columns and an enclosure with Northern New York weather. And I was astounded at the detail of the AI answer in that it includes, without saying, this year, the planning board is, but it basically has incorporated our last 4 or 5 special permits as precedent setting. So if somebody came in and was saying, I want to do this, what do I need to do? They get the very clear message. The planning board does not look favorably on tents for permanent structure. And granted that on a temporary basis, typically ending in April with considerations on safety, blah, blah, blah. More permanent structures are sought. Anyway, and lots of guidelines such as, if you're doing a tent or a more permanent structure in the historic district, you want to retain the integrity of the historic surroundings. So like if they built a structure, a tent platform or a frame or whatever, that it shouldn't ultimately obscure the historic property behind it, the boathouse, but it's in the historic district or the properties next door. So after all that stuff, today the group, and Jim, you correct me if I'm wrong on this, but basically going back, realizing what they have said to us, Whiskey Coop, and knowing what the law says, go back to them and say, the zoning rewrite committee has a sense that wants to see a more permanent solution, not the year after year 10. And come up with, have somebody come up with a design that's like a wooden pole with some sort of a roof that you can do boat canvas type enclosures and take it down in the summer and maybe you keep the wood post there. Then devil's advocate, he says, well, what if they say no? So then they say, or all right, we'll strive for that, but this is almost September. We want to get that in by October. I don't think we can get all this done. Can we get another tent for this year? So the posing to you is, what are your thoughts on that? Because Sarah doesn't want to go and say the wrong thing, not usurping our decision.
This is easy.
Okay.
Because we approved it last year with very clear guidance that said we're not approving this anymore without a path forward for a permanent structure.
Well, they're not even using the same tent because it's
toasted.
gone, it's
Okay.
toast. So like technically they'll have, no matter what they do, they'll have a different tent.
I know where I am on this and it's easy.
Yeah.
So, but to finish your statement, this is it for a tent, is last
You
year.
made that clear last year.
Right. And then the solution, the finish to that statement is, so you come up with a solution, right?
That's what,
I'm not so sure that's what we said, I think.
Well,
I think we said a
I'm
tent, like a
pretty
tent should have
sure,
been
'cause
more
I'm the
historic
one that was-
guidelines.
But we said until the zoning law, until the village defines
Well,
what a temporary structure can be.
and I
That's the
wasn't,
way I remembered it.
I wasn't
That's the way
here that meeting, but I put it in our rationale, but I don't think it's meant till forever and ever until this community decides. I think, they're going to come back
I actually think Merle is correct to an extent, but it wasn't last year that was said. It was the year before. And
Right.
last year, you guys were pretty clear, and I expressed this to Sarah this morning. You said, no more tent, but of, that design, no more tent, and something, striving for something more permanent. My comment to Sarah is, if they really couldn't find anything except another tent, they can come to you with a new tent, and they need to sell that.
That's gonna frustrate me.
Yeah.
Because they've had 12 months times 5
Right.
to
Yeah.
figure this out with a path forward. Now, if they said, hey, this is our plan, we've already got designs, here's our
Yeah,
plan.
that's-
We need a tent for one more time, whatever, and here's our tent.
Yeah.
We've got a long-term plan. It's already in effect. We've got to break ground in spring to put posts for a pergola.
There we go. That,
Then I'm okay, but
That-
there's no
that's
effort,
it.
unperceived.
Right.
An effort that's happening.
Well,
And
that's kind of what I was expressing
Right,
to Sarah,
right.
is they've been their own worst enemy. They keep looking to the village to design them something.
that's what I keep hearing is, oh, you keep telling me what I can't do. Tell me what I can do. Well, no, it's not my job, just.
and what I was frustrated about Googling it and, looking, I thought I would find some images. This is what place X did.
Yeah.
Most of them are using, like if they use the side of the whiskey coop to come out and make an enclosure. This is in the middle of a patio
Yeah.
and that's
Difficult.
trickier,
Yeah.
but not to say it can't be done.
But what you're suggesting is something like a gazebo
Right.
and that you can enclose. and-
Or a.
I picture
pergola.
what I said to Scott when he was sitting here is a pergola with
Right.
those, with the vertical supports that will also be the structure for snow load, or not, if
Right.
And
Vertical-
have some kind of, A-frame that you put up in, yes, it's a, structure,
Right.
but that will help shed snow off in
Yeah.
wintertime.
Well,
Pull down the sides.
this,
You know, but-
this, what I got from my AI search gave specifications like that, like the snow load and wind off the Lake Ontario, all that stuff is like, this is great. And it said, would you like us to make a proposal? Yes, I would.
I mean, I keep it low, so it wasn't the highest thing, so if you got
Right.
protection around it, and
Yeah,
then,
I
But
mean, you're
then would
actually
that-
pretty protected there.
Would that be removed in the spring?
yes, you take
The
if you take the
frame-
boat canvas off and you take the aluminum or the stainless steel arch supports away, just like we do on a sailboat, cover.
This morning, the group said much preferred to go with wood frame.
And the wood frame would stay.
It's,
That was kind of
I
the.
think that's gonna
Well,
look tacky.
Janet, in her
Depends on what it
research,
looks like.
She found, some companies that talk about tents.
Tent-like
and
structure,
historic look, and they used wood structures to do it, so.
but
that's
using
kind
like a pergola frame.
Well, the only thing I liked about the stainless steel is you don't see it. It's covered by a brown tent or whatever, canvas or whatever material. And then in the summertime, you take all those off, they just pop right out and put it in your storage
Okay.
unit. And then now it's just a pergola
Yeah.
with hanging plants around it or something.
Right. So that was we had like 3-hour meeting this morning and this was half of it, right?
A long day.
But then again, if I was Whiskey Coop, I'd be like, why are you bitching about my tent? When I got the empty lot across from Goodfellas, it's got a tent up all summer long with fruit in it.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything.
And the boatyard,
And
Right.
which,
And the boat in the front of the, it's the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's like, well, I understand that that's been an ongoing thorn. Some of these other ones are a little bit more fresh.
okay, so to go back to Sarah,
Well, I think one thing is clear that planning board drew a line in the sand last year and wants to stick to that.
I'm sticking to that, whatever. I don't know. I'm only one.
And, I mean, if they come in with some kind of proposal, you can always sell a proposal, but you got to bring it in.
yeah,
The problem is it looks like we're anti-business and that Scott threw it up at us about, oh, well, I'm just gonna close down.
Yeah.
Well, that's really short-sighted, I think. And it's unfortunate for the village because it's a good place to go in the wintertime. It's one of the few places we can go.
Well, I think the things that you were coming up with make a lot of sense.
Well, but you brought that up last year and
Yeah.
didn't do anything.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, actually, it was not even just didn't do anything, argued with me about how that wasn't possible.
Yeah.
oh, you're saying put a roof on it, but not put a roof on it, or, put a structure, but you got to see through it. I'm like, you're your own worst enemy. You're limiting yourself
Well-
instead of just trying to say, hey, I propose this. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, well, then I propose this. So that doesn't work. Well,
Like Scott at one point turned around and said something about canvas enclosures that pop on and off. And I said to him, you've got that at HopSpot in Clayton.
Mhm.
And he said, well, we didn't want to propose anything like, I mean, we purchased that, but we didn't want to propose anything like that in Saks because we thought you could turn it down.
and that's,
How would you know if you didn't?
Yeah.
no, I don't buy that anymore.
Right. Well, and Sarah's very sympathetic to wanting them to stay open. And I say, I am too. I love walking by there and
Same.
seeing the.
Yeah.
Same, but you got to have standards.
Right. And so I think,
One thing that Janet brought this morning was like the first couple of years with the tent, they did a nice job of decorating around it.
Yeah.
Like the e-bales and pumpkins.
and the fireplace.
It's like last year.
Just got worse and worse,
Like
yeah.
Haphazard
And if you,
tent thrown up.
you can't tell me if you weren't to put something and make that nicer in the
Yeah.
wintertime that you wouldn't do better business.
It
With
would-
Goodfellas does well all winter. And like, you could do that there.
It wouldn't take very much money. You could do it something decent and then build on it. You make it nicer and nicer
Right.
each year if, just quit, and just have a plan, like a,
Well, what I got
Yeah, I mean,
off,
2-3-step plan.
Well, and one of the things that you said last year, which we actually kind of brought up in the thing this morning was, continuing to use tents, they need to replace the tent, every 3 to 5 years or something like that at an expense, where building something a little bit more permanent, you might pay for it once and get 15 years out of it, 20 years out of it.
yeah,
Something like a gazebo or what you proposed would certainly look a lot better.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like it would be that complicated to do. But you'll did find that vessel regulation zone thing, which is very disturbing. Because I do remember it when I was doing my dock.
you had that with you?
Huh?
You had that with you tonight?
Yes, I did. I just found it after all that. But, and I don't know, you see that line, it looks like they kind of squiggled through it. That's only 50 feet out from Nate's lot.
How do you know that?
What?
That it's 50 feet?
That's all.
Well, I'm not sure. I see a 50 there, but I can't tell what it's pointing to.
That's what it's pointing to. It's pointing to the shoreline. And who did we go through? We went through this on somebody. We went through it on George Smith. Doc. And I remembered it.
Where'd this come from?
I don't know.
This isn't the same as what's in the this isn't the same as,
I don't know.
Maybe that's why it's got the squiggly line through it.
Yeah, I don't.
this isn't the same as what's showing in the LWRP.
You can't, I mean,
I can't.
none of this is accurate without doing it in like GIS. Like, you
Right.
can't like look at a map and, I mean,
Well, that was used, believe me, that was used way back when.
Yeah.
It's in this is the same as what we saw before.
And God knows if it's still,
Yeah, it's so hard to.
because that's pretty old. It predates my house, which was built in 88.
See that? That's 150 feet and that's bulkhead.
Which, that's 150 feet. Oh, yeah.
it's out here.
So Craig, what's this bulkhead? It says bulkhead at 150 feet.
Bulkhead. Right here, that's PJ Semais's.
Yeah.
So this is,
West Hamilton's.
That's also prior to PJ extending his docks.
so wait, this is the village docks, No.
PJ extended.
This
Yeah.
is right there.
right there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Place,
You don't
Bill
know.
stops.
I'm trying to remember what we used that for.
And
Remember when we were doing the two,
that's 100 feet.
thought it was when we were zoning law back
And then
in.
that, what's that?
Oh, wait, hang on a second. I'm
See,
sorry.
I don't
This is-
think
This is Market Square Park.
Okay.
It's West, that's the
This is
market.
Ren's house.
Okay.
Okay, we're on Main Street.
So then
Recollection.
this is 150 feet
PJ's.
and that bulkhead.
That that.
So would
everyone's
that be
saying
like
it's kind of
Miletus?
coming to the thing.
Like, where is there
He
a
was
bulkhead?
introducing.
They gotta be
bulk
close to
right there.
that.
Bulkhead.
That's bulkhead.
Well, where, who?
Oh,
where is
really?
that? Like, what's
Yeah.
That's gotta be
And I-
Sam's,
talk
right?
about-
Hamilton?
That's why he was allowed to.
That's a,
Yeah, I mean.
That'd be like
he
Sleeping
was doing
Alley?
the Village a favor by.
That's Hamilton Street. So is that like Robinson Hill?
Yeah, yeah, right,
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
going down to the water.
right, right.
Because it
That's
also.
what drives, that's not really West Hamilton.
No,
it's the
this is
park.
the lot we're talking about.
Right.
Yes, it is West
Yeah, so this-
Hamilton.
I want to know where this bulkhead
That is West Hamilton. That hill is West Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
That was the street.
Oh, okay.
The village turned it into a park, obviously.
So do we know what this bulkhead is? Yeah, and this
I don't know.
might. That-
No clue, like what the bulkhead refers
But
to.
what's important is that that's 150 feet. If we could establish where that is in relation to,
I mean, this looks like it lines up with like 50 feet, but
Is this Nate's lot?
no, that's a label.
Oh, okay. But you
So-
see how this is the vessel
Oh,
regulations
right,
online.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. But Merle, this is what I'm trying to figure out. The village docks are over here. This line says 150 feet to a bulkhead. So it's somewhere,
That's the shoreline.
but bulkhead is a structure. So like maybe where.
Bulkhead
Sameo-
is a structure?
Yeah.
Bulkhead can be the,
No, but on a shoreline, it's like by Samayo's or
oh, right, it would
So-
be his wall,
whose wall?
Samael's. And actually, when that was done, it would have been Tony's wall.
Okay, so,
Samael extended those docks.
Yeah, but
Okay.
this is where the docks are connected to, I guess, right?
right, so that would be 150 feet. So Maletta is next door to him.
Uh-huh.
So
So-
it's,
So, so, but he's already got a 130-foot dock.
Well, Miletta's right here.
yeah, I know.
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
just questioning the validity of that line net measurement.
Right.
And that's all I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's
look
right.
at.
And I don't know. And I remember, I can't
I
remember.
don't feel bad approving this, even
Yeah.
seeing this now, because of how it ties in with everything around it. It still blends in.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm impressed you had that tucked away like in your
But
pocket.
it's something that we should try to
I
figure
think-
out if there's an authoritative one.
I think that, for any future, walk dock or anything else within the village that we're looking, that's coming across our desk, we need to see the overlay with the vessel
Yeah.
regulation zone.
Regulation zone, yeah. Can't remember if George.
All right, well, that's it, I think.
Okay.
I feel like there's actually probably something else, but it can wait. Oh, yeah, that's it. Are we done? I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?